Good morning, WebCon. Good morning, leaders. My name is Steve Spivey. It is a pleasure to be with you this morning, and I hope this finds you safe and well during these tumultuous times. I am so excited to be here with you at WebCon this year, and I know that we are going to have a great time together. I want to share with you a little bit about active listening. Our class, of course, is called Closure is in the Details, a Seller's Guide to Active Listening. A little bit about me. I am a veteran hospitality salesperson in sales 10 years with a large hotel company, and I have been in hospitality another 10 years prior. So if I can believe it, I'm a little shocked, but 20 years now in the business. And I'll tell you, active listening is, for me, I think the most important skill that I continue to hone. And I have to keep working at it because there's a lot of times where I just want to buzz right through and get to the good stuff. But sometimes I have to remind myself to slow down. Often I have to remind myself to slow down. So I want to share with you a little bit about what I have experienced and some of the things that I've done in order to get better at it and how that has made me more effective. A little bit about what we're going to talk about today. We are going to cover types of communication. So we're going to talk a little bit about verbal and nonverbal types of communication. Also, I want to chat with you about the active listening cycle, and I want to ask you to lean into that a little bit because there's some work that I think that we can all do in order to be more effective. Last but not least, I'm going to share some tips and tricks with you, things to take away that I think will make you a bit savvier in terms of active listening. And again, I believe that you all have outstanding acumen as salespeople. And you are in something that's similar to me in that you have to sell an intangible, right? Versus selling widgets, you're selling an experience. You're selling something that has a feeling attached to it. As do I in hospitality. And I think that is something that we are uniquely connected on. I also think that it's something that we tend to take for granted that we do. And it's something that I think if we can figure out how to get right, we are unstoppable. We are not only effective sellers, but also amazing human beings. Now, what I'd like to do is tell you a story about something that was impactful for me. I went through an experience early on in my sales career where I'd come from a very transactional set of sales, group sales, very transactional, small group. People just wanted to get the meeting booked or get the room block booked and move on. And it was all about the numbers, right? I moved into catering. And catering, if anyone's been married before, if anyone has been married at a hotel or a venue, right, where you didn't get married in your backyard, but you asked for someone's help to bring you through the process, you get pretty attached. And it's important that you get pretty attached because you have to put a tremendous amount of trust in that person, right? There's skin in the game. And that's what I love. I love something, that has skin in the game, which is why I loved catering so much. I had a bride early on that I didn't get invested in. She asked for a budget. She wanted to meet a certain budget, and I just thought, let's close this up. This is an easy sell. She said, if we can meet the budget, then we'll get there. We'll get it done. I didn't particularly work at creating a relationship with her. I didn't sit down. I didn't spend time with her. We didn't talk. We didn't have a qualified conversation that came from here. It came from here. And I was all about just trying to solve her problem. And I was jumping over the part where we got emotionally connected just to solve the problem. And I was talking more than I was listening. You see, what I learned from this experience is that relationships equal results. Relationships equal results, right? We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We need to use them proportionally. So what I did was I sent her this proposal and I said, bang, 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 here you go. We can do it, fine. And I failed to lean in and understand why she was looking for the budget she was looking for, which was really low. Why did she need this? Is it because she was poor? Is it because she was cheap? No, it was because she was trying to get married 18 months earlier than she and her fiance had originally planned. They had shopped 24 venues. They had been through just as many salespeople, and she was trying to beat the clock because her mother had just been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. I didn't develop a relationship with Stephanie to get to know that, and that was my fault. I learned all of this afterwards when she was angry, when she looked a little bit like the girl on your screen, because she just wanted me to care. You know what I found out? It didn't matter if I got right to the budget. It didn't matter if I got down to the penny. It mattered that I leaned in and spent time and cared. She ultimately did get married in my hotel, and it took me almost a year to rebuild that relationship that I had the opportunity to build the right way from the beginning. But instead, I lost your trust. Relationships equal results. And that's what I'm going to ask you to carry into today's training and carry beyond as we go, right? So what is communication about? It always amazes me when I see these numbers. Did you know that what I say to you or what you say to your client, many of you know this, it's 7%. 7% is what we say. The content that we have to say is 7%. It's what we hear, right? Now, a whopping 38% is how we say it, which is why when you, maybe some of you feel this way, maybe some of you know people that feel this way, but sometimes when we say something, and we're really direct, I'm an East Coaster, I'm from Connecticut originally, and I just come right out and say it, we have a tendency, as those who come right out and say it, to railroad right over someone's feelings, and they go, I don't care what you said, I just care how you said it, you were rude. And I'm not saying that I think that you're all rude. I am saying, though, that it can be easy to railroad over someone's feelings when we're communicating. We need to slow down, and we need to observe where they're at so that we can meet them there, right? And the other part of that is what they don't say. 55% of this equation is nonverbal. So when someone's starting to talk about the fact that they were recently diagnosed with COPD and they're not really sure what the future holds, and they're really kind of tensing up, look for that stuff. And you might already do that, right? But if you don't, look for those opportunities to go, oh my gosh, this person is terrified. They are scared. How can I help them, right? And the first thing you can do when someone's scared or terrified or unsure or nervous or having any human emotion at all is to lean in. You can look them in the eye and you can be right here with them. There are a lot of things that you can and can't say, and I'm not here to get into the minutia of what your industry requires, but what I am here to tell you is that the basic ability to connect on a human level, to really demonstrate that you care about someone, is everything, both in sales and in life. It is a huge thing. I know you know that, but I want to just hammer it home. If you're really working on the numbers and you're forgetting about the relationships will equal the results, okay? Hey, I love this image, active listening, right? There is a cycle here. This is something that if we follow, I think we really do a whole lot better in terms of having a conversation. A lot of this I think you know, but here's what I want to ask you to do. Take a look at the wheel on your screen. Take a look at the areas where you think you might rush. Where are you flying over? Where are the opportunities for you to slow down to try to get this right? I'll tell you my crutches, the areas that I struggle with. I struggle with the listening for feelings, right? Sometimes I'm direct. I just blow right over it. That's been a learned skill. It's not that you have it or you don't. I've gotten really good at it, right? I've gotten good at caring. Well, I always care, but I've gotten good at listening for those signs and really empathizing with someone. Also, the body language. Sometimes I miss that because I'm really excited about connecting with them, but I don't always watch when they start to close up or clam up on me or get uncomfortable or do, these things. And I've had to start to really watch for that. I've had to train myself to watch for those cues. And then also just my own self-awareness, right? Sometimes I can rush to judgment on what someone's saying. Not that I'm judgmental, but that I don't necessarily take in from a neutral place what I'm hearing and then process that afterwards. So I'm going to ask you to just take the opportunity to take a look at this, perhaps screenshot this if you have an opportunity on your computer since we're all virtual, and find the place where you can fine-tune this wheel. If you can find one place where you can work on, you will dramatically improve your ability to communicate, develop relationships, and close on business, right? Again, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use them proportionally. It's very important. Hey, I have a simple way that I like to remember the important steps of listening actively, right? And it's called care. How easy is that? Care. I care. It's connecting. The first thing is leaning in, being present, looking someone in the eye. And how important, when we think about the generational differences, folks who are maybe purchasing a Medicare supplement plan from you, these folks have a different set of values. And sometimes they have a different language than we use. For example, our colloquialisms or our vernacular maybe are a little bit different. You or I, if you're in your 30s or even your 40s, you might say, bye, Felicia. And that might mean something to you. Not that you're going to say bye, Felicia, to your clients. But what I'm trying to say is that's going to mean something very different to a woman in her early 80s, unless she's super hip, like, my grandmother, who might know bye, Felicia. But that said, keep in mind when you are communicating and connecting with someone, how are you hearing what they have to say, and what are you hearing that maybe is different from what they're trying to say, and vice versa, because that's very important when we cross generations. Affirm what they're saying. Make sure that you are actively letting them know that you are hearing them. And that, in short, is empathy, right? That is, oh my gosh, absolutely. Something I love that demonstrates empathy. It comes from Brene Brown. Many of you know Brene Brown. She focuses on shame, but also on vulnerability. And I think it's really important when you're essentially rumbling with vulnerability with someone that's telling you something very personal about them, not just a condition that their doctor has told them they have, but how they feel, where they are, and getting that information, and then using a tool such as say more about your fear about dying, or your fear about paying for that. That is something that starts to elicit some really good information. That's where the juice is. That is like Stephanie, my bride, knowing that her mom has cancer. I had to be very careful with information. I can't just go broadcast that. And for the record, I've changed her name for this purpose. But I need to tell you that when you get that information and you can be a little bit vulnerable and get them to be vulnerable with you, that's going to give you a gift, which is something to care about, and you will connect directly with them. And it's very, very powerful that you do that. Next step is reflecting, right? Reflect on it. So I think it's important. I'll tell you one thing that I really struggle with. I want to get right to it. I want to find the solution. I want to get in there. Let's fix this. And I've had to work at reacting when I should be responding. And responding is all about time. That's all it is, time and reflection. So when I take a step back and go, wait a minute, let me take your concerns, your questions, how I'm considering all of the things that you might need, right? And I take a step back and I think about that. I'm demonstrating a higher level of acumen in the client's eyes when I need to think about it, because I come back to them with a really well thought out solution, and that's very impactful. So just the reason it's here under care is because it's the pause that I want you to focus on. Don't immediately try to solve their problem. You may try to close them right away. Closure in the first conversation is important, but where you can, build in just a little bit of time so that you give yourself the opportunity to think about it and let them know that you are being thoughtful in the information that you're giving them. Last but not least, ensure, right? This is the opportunity that you can take to make sure that you got it. You can check for cross-generational vernacular. You can make sure that you've heard their needs. You can essentially paraphrase back to them. Don't parrot, but paraphrase back. Again, you're all very savvy sellers, but this is a good reminder. This is the opportunity to make sure that you got it and that they have faith that you are looking out for their best interest. And that's what's important here, because everyone is leery, no matter what age you are, feeling that they're getting sold. But when you are demonstrating that you're there as a solution provider and maybe a little bit as a friend, that's really important. And I'm not talking about being fake, but just caring is a radical act. I think that's a big deal in today's society. So be there with them, right? Hey, I love this from Zig Ziglar. Stop selling and start helping. This has been a game changer for me, because when I can really get in here and I can focus on what you need, I can focus on who you are and what you're trying to do, I can focus on how I'm hopeful that what I do will make you feel better, how I can make a positive impact on your day, your week, your month, your life. That's all I want to do. And I want to make it easier for you, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, to do that. So ultimately, what I love about this is that, and this is something I live by, we rise by lifting others. Right? We can make a positive difference in someone's life when we can elevate someone and we can help them because we found a solution, because we listen, because we care, because we put relationships on the same level that we put results, because they're tied, right? Relationships equal results. All right, a little bit about Toastmasters. So I'm with Toastmasters. I haven't said much about that, but I want to share with you the power that Toastmasters has given me. I am all about connecting, as you maybe can tell by me. I'm right here. I'm so hospitality. It's kind of disgusting, but Toastmasters has given me something that I can't I can't replicate anywhere else, and that's confidence. It's given me the confidence to say, yes, I'll give a 20-minute presentation on active listening because I do have something to share, because I do care about this and I do care about you. And Toastmasters, we like to say that we come for ourselves and we stay for each other, right? So I encourage you to check this out. If you are nervous about public speaking, great, come on in. It's a safe place to fail, be supported, and do it again. And it is a safe place to grow. There's all kinds of opportunities. I've been involved with our district, which is the state of Arizona, for 3.5 years. It's been a wonderful experience. I've grown. I've done a number of things, like I've planned a conference. I have been the president of a club. I'm currently the secretary of a club. There's all kinds of opportunities. And being a mentor to someone is one of the most valuable parts of it. I think that's been a lot of fun. So please join us Thursday at 6:30, Unity Speakers. We're all virtual, so you could join us in Arizona. You could go to Japan. You could go to Singapore. It's really cool. You could just be anywhere in the world. But I encourage you to look that up online, toastmasters.org. Hey, I want to just cover what we've done a little in the rearview mirror. By the way, not subtle. Arizona, come on out. It's great. Types of communication, we talked about that, verbal and nonverbal communication. We talked about active listening and that cycle. And of course, we covered some tips and tricks and some things that I think are important for you to do. I'm asking you to analyze the way that active listening fits into your life. What are you doing well? What opportunities do you have? And focus on one thing that you can do to improve your active listening acumen. It will change the quality of your life, hands down. So with that said, don't forget, relationships equal results. It will absolutely boost your closure. It will make you a better human being. And I promise you that it will feel awful good too. So just focus on that, okay? Listen, thank you so much for your time. It has been such a pleasure and an honor to be here with you at WebCon. I am so excited for what you're going to do out there this year. Lord knows we need all the help and healthcare we can get. So please know that you are making a difference. Thank you for all that you do. And I look forward to speaking with you here shortly at the Q&A. Line up those questions. Let's go. Thanks so much. Enjoy the morning.